everyone. My name is Ryan Cam, and welcome to Smalltalk episode 67. This is the watch party for the season 8 finale. We all know why we're here. Jacob Collins, he, of course, has that picture because even though it's a new year, it's the same old shit. And Matt Wyatt is also here. Guys, Happy New Year. Hope you're well.
Happy New Year, man.
I thought your name was Dave.
It's short for Davis.
For a second, I'm like...
I was like, what the hell?
Like,
you probably misspelled his name. It was like, his name's not Dave.
Nah, that was deliberate. I mean... names.
No, I'm giving Ryan shit for that.
I was
is your name Dave? That's your real name?
Like, no, his name's Jacob in real life. I mean, but Ryan is like, I don't know about Dave is feeling like Doomsday. I'm like, wait, you think he's Dave? Like Dave Gillard from Interpreting the Stars? Like, no.
No, I'm Kevin Kline from that movie, Dave.
Or I think, or you could be Kevin from Fish Called Wanda. Disappointed.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, but here we are at the precipice of the end of season 8, and this has certainly been a season of television, all right. And I went into the season with an open mind, and it's not as bad as I've seen some people say it is, but the valleys have been noticeable. Some peaks too. I want to be fair, but definitely some valleys.
All right, so Ryan, going into this before we watch the final episode, what do you think is going to happen in the season finale?
Well, I know the ending of this episode. I mean, I haven't seen the episode, but I just have the pronounced feeling based on the history of this show that it's going to involve Clark and Doomsday looking at each other, basically irresistible force meaning the immovable object. They're going to start running at each other. They're going to launch to each other with fists and then credits.
And it's going to leave the cliffhanger for the next season.
Because I have been burned twice now with not only the season 1 one, but also the finale for season 6 where Bizarro showed up and they were teasing, and all of a sudden Bizarro showed up. I'm like, oh, you mother... Oh, you fucking bastard. No!
I knew that was going to piss you off. I was like, oh, yeah, but I make no mistake for this finale. But without spoiling anything, the third act, and especially the ending, not the reveal of who might be the next villain for season 9, but it's going to really piss you off. You're going to fucking be very furious.
The ending, yes.
The ending. You know what I'm talking about.
The ending is where everybody's like, fuck you, Smallville. Like,
that's like the showrunners gave it like the middle finger to the Superman fans. Like, what the hell did that? And it's so anticlimactic.
It's like it also not only does the ending give the middle finger to Smallville, it also gives the middle finger to the showrunners of Alan Miles. That's true. It feels like because they're retconning something that should not have been retconned.
Well, there's a few things they retcon in this season with Doomsday's backstory. Like they not the creation, but how he was landed to Earth. The episode that we talked about, like I think it was like a couple of weeks ago, the flashback sequences of them arriving in the same time with Clark. That part I did not like. They retconned that shit completely. And this whole prophecy of him facing his ultimate opponent, when really originally it was supposed to be Lex who was the ultimate opponent.
Yeah, and you know what? Look. There was 4. I don't blame Kelly Sanders and Brian Patterson. I understand there was 4 showrunners this season. There was 4, and 2 of those showrunners leave. So I will say, a lot of the writing gets better in season 9 and 10. Although there are noticeable stuff that you're like, okay. But I will say, you could tell what the good things they do in season 9 and the bad things they do. You're like, in season 8, you could tell I think they do more good than they do bad. Mm-hmm. And I think, honestly, there were just too many cooks in the kitchen this season. Because I think you had 4 showrunners, and 2 of them were like, hey, I think this is how Smallville should be.
It just felt like they felt like they threw out a lot of this 4 storylines in a pitch. And there's make no mistake, this season had 4 storylines that we talked about off camera. When the first one, the first one that they resolved was Brainiac. When after the end of that Legion episode, 2, they resolved it from Lex because Michael Rosenbaum is no longer present on the show anymore, and the writers had to figure out how to write him out of the show because he's not in the show anymore. So they can't keep talking about him off screen so many times. So they have to find a way to resolve that issue. And 3, Lana. They brought back Lana for 5 episodes as a guest star, and they couldn't get enough of Lana, even though it was already resolved and her arc ended in the last season in that finale. And bringing her back was the biggest mistake. What to bring her back on the show? It was like, why do we? You feel like that they couldn't get enough of her arc ended. And I make no mistake, I love Kristen Crook as an actress, but I hated the fact that they keep dragging her character in the mud every season. Even the later ones, and it just broke my heart because she's such a great, talented actress. Then the 4th one, they had to resolve the Doomsday now, the main.
And you could tell they rushed that shit. Like in the
they
end,
did,
like,
and I thought bringing in Doomsday was a complete big mistake because I mean, yeah, I understand it's an Elseworld story, and then they can do whatever they want if they want to bring in some of the iconic villains early on before he's Superman. But bringing in Doomsday is what built up for him being Superman. Now he's fucking earned his place in the world to the people, and they all look up to him as the superhero. And him facing the ultimate being that can kill that is like unkillable. That not even Superman could defeat. And the death of Superman had a great storyline. And bringing him in the show before he's Superman was completely a big mistake. And I love Sam Witwer as Davis Bloom, dealing with the whole duality. I thought he was great, and I love Sam Witwer as an actor, and I thought he was great in this season.
Not to mention Jimmy Olsen is a big old druggie in this.
I know, that's why I said Jimmy Crackhead Olsen.
Yeah, they made him a crackhead.
Which, I mean, also, you think that also, you know, which I want to piggyback on what you said, Matt. 4 storylines. It's ironic you have 4 storylines. We have 4 different showrunners on the show. This you can
no pun intended. No pun intended.
It's like, hey, each showrunner had their own storyline they wanted to handle. They're like, hey,
they came up with an idea and then the fucking pitch. Imagine them coming up with that idea.
It's like they're sitting. All 4 of them are sitting in the room and going, you know what we should do this season, you know? And you're just like, you know what? And they're just like. Which I honestly I think with season 9, I think it is better that we only had in season 9 2 showrunners, because I feel like 4, that's just too many cooks in the kitchen, you know. And I think, you know, because it's like that's not even a showrunner, so that's a committee at that point.
I will say that the later 3 seasons, my favorite was 9 out of the 3.
I agree. I think 9 is
it's definitely the best one. They were able to find its footing and actually took out some of the weaknesses and brought some of the strengths from season 8 and brought it over to season 9.
I will say one thing that my only negative is it feels less like this season is the last time it will feel like Smallville in a way, because they changed the cinematography in season 9, and on top of that, he barely goes to the Kent farm, like barely.
Yeah, because of the production value. You got to remember the production value was a little bit more cheaper, and it was done now in
it feels more like
studio lot, especially when they keep showing the same location when they're outside of Metropolis. It was shot in the studio lot, and most of the stuff was done on green screens at the time. So yeah, you're barely going to see Cork on the Kent farm that often in the show.
Oh, I caught something the other day. I was watching the scene where they're on the balcony. I'm like, that's a picture. That's not even the freaking. When we saw Lana, like you said, when we saw Lana and Clark standing on the rooftop, it was definitely heavily green screened. Now, like, you know, now they just use pictures. Like when Oliver was standing over looking out the balcony, I'm like, that is a picture. That is not even a balcony. That looks like something.
You can fool people. You could definitely fool people at nighttime for the night scenes, but for daytime, it's gonna stick out like a sore, stick out like a sore thumb.
But you know what? Season 9, we'll cross that bridge next week, and hopefully season 9 will be a vast improvement. I will say the season premiere is 10 times better than the season premiere.
Oh, it's a banger premiere. I loved it. It kept you invested, and it kept you invested of where the direction is going for season 9.
Yeah, I will say season 9 had a great season premiere and a season finale, and it had a good the mid-season was pretty good. Yeah. Mid-season.
It was more of like an eventful, not like relevant to the main story as much. During like the mid-season, I think
mid-season finale was good. I like the mid-season finale.
It was an episode called Absolute Justice, and I can't tell you what that was, but that was like completely a separate storyline.
Wait, that's not the season premiere, mid-season premiere. That's the
not the mid-season premiere. It was like the mid-season finale. I think I could be wrong.
No, that was no.
I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know.
No, that's like an episode way down the line because Jeff Johns.
That
episode. That was like down the road.
Yeah.
Well, we will cross all of those bridges once we get to them, but we must now put season 8 out of its misery, and without any further ado, let's get it started. If you all want to watch with us,
Let's
it
go.
is on Hulu, or have the physical. We all have the physical, so there will be no worry about ads or anything of that nature. I'm going to give a 5-second countdown, and then we will begin. This is season 8, episode 22, called Doomsday, and we begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh my God.
We need to take care of Davis Bloom.
By take care of, do you mean murder? Because that seems to be the way you like to take care of things these days. You're not one of us anymore.
This whole time that you were with me, it was for Clark.
There is nothing on this earth that will stop him from killing you.
How much time do I have?
Tomorrow is the day you die.
Sometimes we cannot outrun our destiny.
I thought you were invincible.
So did I.
Please don't do this.
I have to.
Lois, where's the orb?
I appreciate your warning, but I know what I have to do now.
Smallville season finale, Thursday, May 14th at 8/7 Central.
It's like old Yeller, we got to put it down.
That's right. Here's a big recap of this season.
It's like, remember when it was a better time?
Remember when Chloe used to have been awesome, and now they kind of dumbed her down in this season?
It's like she's literally like a groupie for Doomsday.
Yeah, I never really understood that, like that logic decisions. I mean, I get that she wanted to sacrifice her life to save Clark and deal with Davis, but come on, dude. It could have been done
Chloe
better.
very firmly in her "I can fix him" phase.
She thinks she can fix him. Like, you can't. He's... And yeah, there's Clark trying to dealing with the whole dual identity.
That Legion ring is so cool.
Yeah, the Legion episode was a pretty dope episode.
You know, there's, like I said, there's not a lot of bad episodes. Like, I like season 8. So I like somewhat of season 8. I think there is, like, I like the whole when Doomsday's on screen, I like that. You know, when it's like, you know, whenever it's Doomsday focused episodes, I like it. But then whenever it's like, you know, episodes about like the water lady, you know, or
oh god, when they brought her back and the show was so stupid.
That clearly is a shot skyline of Vancouver.
Oh, look, it's a Christmas episode.
I will say, I thought this was cool, like the flying sequence at the beginning. I'm like,
yeah, especially on a lower budget.
I'm saying, doesn't that look like pictures in the background? That just looks like a giant wallpaper.
Yeah. It's not as noticeable that much when it's done on the night scenes, but in the daytime, it's just so noticeable.
Yeah.
Disrupting fate. They're basically doing the thing in Back to the Future part 2 or 3, where it's like if you
It's
run
okay,
into your
Clark, I'm back
younger-
now. I'm back now. He goes, I sent you back to the future!
I'm back from the future.
Yeah, Brock had to really come back to the past to try to warn him.
I thought you said the Rock at first. I'm like,
No, Brock.
In this episode.
No,
Can
Brock.
you smell what the Rock is cooking? The hierarchy of Smallville is about to change.
Oh, God.
Remember when he tried to take over the DC universe?
Of course he did. He did try to take over.
And then that's like, you know, that was the funniest unsuccessful attempt of his career.
Well, it did change. It did somehow somewhat change.
They gave it to James Gunn because they're like, hey.
Yeah, thank God it was James Gunn. Like, I love The Rock, but it would have been a big mistake for him to take over DC. He would have ran that IP to the ground.
He wasn't even going to be in
Pretty
charge.
much.
He was going to put his cousin or something in charge, his brother-in-law in charge of that.
I just think it would have been a big mistake.
Now
I think-
he's like, now he's on WWE's board of directors.
And he's bought a football team. And on top of that, he's got an overall deal with Disney.
No, a football league. A league, not just a
league.
team.
Tomorrow is the day you die.
He gave him a date of when he will get killed.
So Clark's just gonna be like Final Destination, trying to watch everywhere. He's like, I don't want this coffee to follow me. What if it kills me? It's like I don't. It'd be like Final Destination, where I'm like, remember in bedtime stories where there's a fire and he thinks he's gonna be caught on fire, so you bring a fire extinguisher with him. And he goes, shh. I'm gonna die.
Brock,
And also
so now he gave him the
song-
he gave him the Legion reign to send Doomsday to the future, but Clark refuses. Like, no, this is my battle to fight.
What was he gonna say, Ryan?
I was just gonna say, in that bedtime story scene, all the songs on the radio that Sandler plays are all fire related.
Yeah, that's true. Which you know what? I will say this. Ironically, bedtime stories came out the same year as Smallville season 8.
It did.
November.
Side note, but I love the names of the cities in the DC universe, like Edge City. I believe there's a Fringe
Star
City
City.
also.
Yeah. Central City.
Coast City.
Yeah, Coast City where Hal Jordan's from. Central City is where Barry Allen's from. Star City is where Oliver Queen is from. Yeah, this DC universe, they always come up with a lot of fictional cities. Marvel does the opposite, where they come up with
fucking lazy. They're just like
cities.
New York. Spider-Man lives in New York. Iron Man lives in New York. Every character, 80% of the characters.
Well, Iron Man lives in Malibu.
Well, I mean, it actually lives in New York in the comics, but then Jon Favreau changed it to New York City. He changed to California, Malibu, because he said he didn't want every superhero lives in New York City. Why does every superhero have to live in New York City? To them, Marvel corrected that in the season.
Mostly every Marvel character lives in New York.
And then Marvel corrected that shit in Avengers. Marvel corrected that shit. It's like,
they did.
Yeah, you know how every character lives in New York City. Well, guess what, motherfucker, Favreau? Watch this. He's back in.
With Metropolis and Gotham, Metropolis was more of a New York, while Gotham was way more of a. I forgot what kind it was, like Chicago.
Well, here comes the famous Luther Holmes security system working, and by working I mean not working.
Now that alien orb is missing.
A lot can happen in a few seconds, dickhead. I would fire his ass. I'm like, I would be like, you said the security system was down. He goes, only for a few seconds. A lot can happen in a few seconds, you dickhead.
Again, worst security guards. They're the worst
security guard. How is he?
We already acknowledged that they have worse security guards in the show. It was already established.
Lex hired this guy to kidnap Lana, and he did this. And then Lana kicked his ass before she got the karate shit. Before she was even trained into that.
Nothing suspicious about that, as he rushes to minimize the window.
I mean, he's essentially making his own death note.
My name is Clark Kent. Shit's about to happen. Okay, there's a big ass motherfucker named Doomsday that looks like the actor Sam Witwer, and yeah.
that looks like Davis Bloom.
And he goes, he's gonna wreck some shit up, yo. You know what I'm saying, G? He goes, let me tell you something though. You got to put some kryptonite. He says, look, if once I die, don't worry, it's gonna be all good, because guess what? You got the Justice League minus Superman, so we all cool, yo. For Rizzo, just like why is he writing this, and why is he writing like he's on an Eminem album? Like, why is he writing this? It's like an Eminem.
Like he's in a fucking Eminem music video.
It's like, oh, when did Clark Kent want to be a rapper? Is what they're going to do. When did Clark
Dear
Kent?
Stan.
All of a sudden, Lois is going to be like Ditto going, please don't go. Lois is going to be Lois is going to be like Ditto going, please don't.
Got out of bed at all.
People still use phone booths.
Especially in the building, no less.
When everyone in the world has a fucking cell phone. Before we even had smartphones, there was BlackBerry and flip phones at the time. Because this was like early 2010s.
Who uses who really uses a phone booth? First off, who has a phone booth in a building?
That's what we've been theorizing.
Because Superman changes in the phone booth.
Clark's like, by the way, this is the last time you'll see him in this outfit, Ryan.
That's true.
This is the last time you'll see him in this outfit.
Yeah, in that red and blue outfit. Oh, look at that! They brought back Bart Allen and Canary.
They got the Flash. They got Black Canary.
By the way, shout out to Kyle Gallner, who was in a pretty good horror movie last year called Strange Darling. I recommend it.
And he was also in Smile too.
I heard that people say
That's
he had a
true.
small role in Small too.
He did. He did have a small role. Once you see the movie, you'll know why.
Why don't they just take the monster, split him in half, send the monster to the Phantom Zone, and then they call it a day?
Well, that's what Clark's plan until Tess destroyed that Phantom Zone crystal. She destroyed it, so there's no way that they're going to send him to the Phantom Zone.
I would send him to the fucking Phantom Zone. That's what I would have done.
That was his original plan until Tess destroyed that fucking Phantom Zone crystal.
I mean, like, it's so stupid. I mean, that would have been.
That wasn't. I know, but that was the original plan. But now they're trying to bury the beast to the ground.
Go play with the Dementors there, Dave.
He would probably be king of the Phantom Zone too, Doomsday. Doomsday would be like just sitting on the throne, and everybody would be like, "Oh, we fear Doomsday."
The last episode, Oliver had no problem of confessing that he killed Lex, and that's going to bring the whole confrontation between the two of them. He just completely excluded him from the team.
You killed him. You killed Lex.
Dick. You killed him.
Yeah, I killed Lex. You would have all done the same thing. No, we would not have.
Clark's his new plan B, is to now bury the beast when he splits the Kryptonian side of Davis. Since now that he can't bring him to the Phantom Zone since Tess destroyed the fucking crystal. Which I don't know how she was able to pull that off.
Here's a little bit of off-topic question. You ever watch Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and start getting a craving for chocolate?
Yes.
Who doesn't get a craving for chocolate after
I was watching Willy Wonka the other day, and I was like, man, I don't like chocolate, but man, this made me want to eat chocolate watching that.
Well, the movie did a good job of having you crave for candy,
It
especially
fetishizes
chocolate. That's what I would appreciate about with movies when they advertise foods, they make you want to have them and you crave for it.
Oh yeah, like I was watching Squid Game last night, and all I wanted to do was eat the Korean food. Like I saw like Korean food. I'm just like,
I still gotta watch the second season. I still haven't watched it.
It's so good. It ends on a cliffhanger though. Like it ends on such a.
Which I've heard that season 3 that's gonna come out later in 2025 is gonna be their last one.
I can't watch that
Korean barbecue Jones.
I gotta watch it dubbed. Although season 2 is really funny. Like there's a lot of comedy shit in that one. Although the end is dark.
Seems like Jimmy is now working for Lex. No, working for Oliver. What the fuck did I just say, Lex? What the fuck?
Lex is dead.
Lex is dead.
Look,
dude, Lex's assistant is alive.
Look, Tess really did kill the security guard. His Lex's security.
No, that's Lex's assistant.
Yeah, I'm saying like
one that Tess beat the crap out of.
Yeah, she
that we
him.
Thought he was dead.
I like to think he's the Otis of this universe. Like he's Lex's Otis.
Oh, she's literally interrogating him about the orb, the missing orb.
You ever think about that? Like maybe he's like Lex's Otis.
He might have been he might as well be the Otis.
Because he's like in the
probably has his own little location, Otisburg.
Oh wow! Otis really did appear in Smallville.
What is Uncle Ben's car doing there?
Holy shit! Did you know that the doctor that evil Lex kills in Onyx is Otis?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so just Google said, does Otis appear in Smallville? And there's a picture of him. He actually played 3 different roles in the show. He played Amy Adams' dad. Then he played Lex's doctor.
Oh yeah, that's the same. Yeah, I noticed him.
So basically with 2 roles. He played 2 roles. He played the doctor that Lex kills, in Onyx, Evil Lex. And then he played Amy Adams' dad.
In season 1.
Yeah.
fucking Oliver just tranked him with fucking kryptonite arrow.
Look,
just
we
trapped
gotta
his
go
ass.
kill Doomsday, okay, bro? I'm like,
So
bitch,
we're gonna
none
kill
of you have-
Doomsday. We're gonna kill Davis. So fuck you, Clark. You're gonna.
I'm there like,
get
none of
that.
you have a chance. None of you have a chance.
How are you gonna kill him?
What are you
what's
gonna
your
scream at him
plan?
like this? Ah! You're gonna make him go death. That's about it. And then he's gonna snap your neck. And then all of a sudden, Oliver, we're gonna do shoot bow and arrow. It's like, oh look, I
I thought
bow.
this sequence. I just thought that sequence was so stupid. Like, what's your plan? You don't stand a chance against him. Clark is the only one who can stand toe to toe with him.
What's a Flash gonna do? I'm running in circles around you, bro. Woohoo!
He's gonna run in circles and do a fucking torpedo his ass.
Do a barrel roll.
It's gonna be like in the Flash movie where all of a sudden he just goes in circles and punches him in the face until Doomsday.
Like, dude, the Flash is gonna get smashed
with a giant pink orb.
She's wearing fucking purple, as what the color of the fucking orb was. The purple.
Maybe the orb is like mind washing her. Maybe it's like telling her dress like purple, consume, like they live or something.
How do they make Tess dumber in this scene?
Can't fight. That's when all the guys get beers and just watch and go like, yeah.
Yeah, they're just gonna get beers and get a popcorn and just snacks and just sit down.
Budweiser.
Ooh, there's the Legion rain.
This is nice. Oh, well, don't just sit there. Grab it.
She put that on and disappeared. Where the hell she could be?
Hiding from the ring wraiths, of course.
She went to Mordor.
Is it in the darkness binding them?
She just saw like the Frodo in Lord of the Rings where it's like, shh. And then all of a sudden you see Sauron's like, I see you.
Wow, they were able to knock out Davis. Like, what the fuck? So you tranked him with kryptonite darts for no reason. I didn't understand that.
The leather on this show must be through the roof in budget.
It must have like a separate budget, like Stone Cold Steve Austin's beer budget or something.
Like, this is the leather budget. Like, oh my god, I have to make this. Imagine the costumes. And I was like, every time there's a superhero show on the show, we have to make leather for them. Leather.
How much leather do you need for the show?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This scene had a major plot.
20 trucks.
Yeah, this scene had a major plot hole in this one because you train Clark to get him out of the way so you can kill Davis, but then now you're using the black kryptonite to split the Kryptonian beast side of him, which that was literally what Clark was planning on doing.
He's hulking it. I agree with the plot hole.
Yeah, I never understood Oliver's logic. Did not understood that.
Uh-oh. Davis, you need to run.
You should have just came to Clark and say, hey, I'm with you. Let's do this.
Doomsday smash.
Just exercise me. Come on.
You just destroyed Uncle Ben's car, bro.
This bender number 2 or 3, Mr. Olsen.
You can always say, hey, Jimmy, you're just tweaking out again. Like, I gotta stop smoking crack.
You were relying way too much on the drugs.
You just... Clark just speeds away and he's like, I think I'm on drugs still. Either I'm still on drugs really bad, or he really is Superman.
If he had a drink in his hand like Perry White, he would just go.
I'd love just to, if he had the pill bottles, just pick the pill bottles up and throw them.
Wow, they really could not name drop it. They really couldn't.
They were probably like, that's too on the nose if you say Superman.
It's a bird.
Well, they had name dropped it a couple times throughout the show.
I mean, well,
like
yeah,
Lana dropped the Superman in the pilot. Then Martha name dropped it in the episode where Clark went blind and his super hearing kicked in.
My biggest issue, a lot of the stuff that happens in this episode is a lot of off-camera stuff, and it really pisses me off because, like, for instance, when they kidnap Chloe and Davis, it's all off camera. I'm like, I would like to have seen that,
but budget cuts because they don't have the budget.
It's like, oh, they just like, okay, some of the best stuff in this episode happens off camera.
Or they just wanted to do it just to add the suspense from Clark's point of view, and then he was walking into a trap.
I mean, Arrow can show stuff better. I will say, season. Look, some Arrow has done.
Because with Arrow, they don't have a lot of superpower beings that have the freak of the week. They just have villains who have non-superpowers.
Damien Dark,
they were able
to
do it well with doing fight choreography, so they didn't need to have crazy budget CG fights.
They had Damien Dark, who was doing literally in Legends of Tomorrow when they resurrected Damien Dark. He was just throwing guards like this and this, which was done comedically. They were just going flying across the.
Yeah.
Legends of the Guardian, or what's that called? Legends of Tomorrow was
Legends of Tomorrow.
See, like this would have been cool to see. All this.
Yeah, it's like what happened when Doomsday was now split. They completely showed it off camera. They knocked everybody unconscious.
I would love to have seen him throw Oliver across.
Well, don't you think that Doomsday would have fucking slaughtered every one of them without thinking twice about it? Like, no, I'm gonna knock him out. Oh, here it comes, the showdown with him and Doomsday.
To be continued.
To be continued.
If they do that, that's a 0 out of 10.
Like Ryan will be like Ryan Gosling from fucking Blade Runner 2049.
I'm not asking.
They literally reused that shot from that angle from season 5.
Yeah, just set her in the garbage. That's a nice spot to.
I like how it does like the Godzilla pour like.
Holy shit! Like beating the crap out of them.
Yes.
Yep. Unfortunately,
that's
yeah.
the entire Doomsday storyline.
They completely just buried him all the way through the underground. And that's how you defeat Doomsday.
So well. They were doing so
I know.
well.
That's what pissed me off. I was so angry. I'm like,
I was so angry too. That's why I thought it was a big mistake. That's why I thought it was a big mistake. I thought it was a big mistake to bring in Doomsday so soon because even though Clark is not at his full prime to fight Doomsday, he was still not at his prime. If he was at his prime, the fight would have been a lot longer. He knew he could not defeat him like that because he would have been dead.
Look, you know what? I will say that they do make up in season 9 for this. In season 9,
yeah,
finale,
they did. I just wish they would have had done some better fight scenes, but budget cuts.
I was angry until season 9 finale. I'm like, you know what? They realized they made a mistake in season 8 finale. They're like, in season 9 they make up for it.
They did. I will admit.
Even
though I just wish they would have done better fight scenes in the show, but I guess it's just because of the budget. They didn't have the budget for it.
Yeah.
But if they were to do it today, the fight scenes would have been a lot superior.
Oh yeah, like Arrow.
Especially just like the Arrowverse and Superman and Lois.
So now what do you think? So now Doomsday, that's it. Doomsday, that's the end of Doomsday.
That's the end. That's the end of Doomsday.
You're not gonna see him in season 9 or 10.
Never to be mentioned ever again.
Freaking weak.
Ryan's like, I'm canceling that.
Okay, this is the scene that's gonna really piss you off even more. This is gonna give the middle finger.
Okay.
Ryan's like, Ryan was so excited. He goes, I just ordered the Funko Pop of Doomsday from Smallville season 8 on Amazon.
Better return that.
Ryan's like, I'm canceling that shit. That little bitch. Like, it's off for 5 seconds and then just disappears. Build up to this. 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom, boom. That's it. Nothing. At least Superman and Lois and Batman versus Superman, the fight scenes with Doomsday are better.
Oh, I completely agree.
By a lot.
And speak of Jake, have you watched the final 10 episodes of Superman and Lois? Because now it's on Max.
No, I haven't. I'm going to though.
Oh, you're gonna love the final 10 episodes. They really paid off very well.
You know what made me happy though? Superman Doomsday. That they did a better Superman versus Doomsday fight.
Oh,
than Smallville.
oh yeah. Wait till you watch the premiere of the final the final
I've seen
season.
the premiere, but yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah, where like his cape was floating.
There's gonna be more. There will be more in the next several episodes because it's a 10 episode of the final season.
I will say I did. Like
Oh, hold on. Stop right there.
No, what are you talking about? Yes, you did.
You could take the man out of the monster out of the man, but you can't take the man out of the monster.
That's right.
I mean, you've been exorcised. Okay, first of all, you were stabbed through and through with a pipe. There's no way you walk that off. And then, okay, in a show that has invincible aliens and aliens from another world, somehow this makes less sense than any and all of that.
It makes more sense of Lex Luthor and Clark Kent as mortals surviving in the Arctic water than it does than this.
It's not like the pipe like went like in and then like just stayed there. It was like it went like it stabbed him like this. And somehow he was able to get up in one final flurry and shove Davis into like this pitchfork looking thing. And somehow one shot kills David, but apparently God, this thing is terrible.
This is what pissed me off more than anything.
They really pissed me off big time.
In the finale, they showed a funeral and everything. They showed a funeral.
Of course there's a funeral. Of course.
They fucking killed Jimmy off in the fucking show. I was like, are you fucking kidding
they
me?
had they were teasing Clark's death in the season finale, saying they had a funeral and says today is the day you die. And
yeah,
then like
that was so I thought it was so stupid because then if they kill off Clark, yeah, they'll probably bring him back for the rebirth storyline if they wanted to go in that direction.
And they didn't kill him off though. They didn't kill him off. It was Jimmy.
No, he survived.
And I'm just like, what?
Well, you just teased that for no reason. You just fucking misled them.
It was look, that was clever marketing though. Because they knew even the marketing people were like, that's a shitty idea.
Okay, that tear eye from Oliver's point of view, that kind of felt like a little bit of a Batman feeling because when Superman died, Batman was in tears when he witnessed Superman's death. And apparently the guy who was doing the funeral, they named him Henry James Olsen. So apparently James is his fucking middle name, apparently? What the fuck?
But do you know who the little boy's name is?
Oh, I do. Wearing a bow tie. Little foreshadowing.
He's Jimmy Olsen.
Thang.
Apparently his brother is Jimmy Olsen.
What? Oh, you should have seen one time that Michael.
That really pissed me off that they retconned that shit. Like, what are you talking about?
The funniest thing ever was Michael Rosenbaum and him were at a panel. They were all at a panel together. The Black Canary girl, Jimmy Olsen, Michael Rosenbaum, Tom Welling, and they were like,
Ashmore.
And Aaron Ashmore. And they said, like, he says, so your death, did you know that, and he goes, and then Michael Rosenbaum, wait, you died on the show? And he goes, I don't know. He goes, I think I did. I don't know. I really don't understand. He said, there's so much shit going on in that show. I'm like, oh,
Why is Clark standing far away? He didn't need to be that far away. Is he taking a piss?
I was literally, they told me, hey, you're not really Jimmy Olsen. I'm like, yeah, I am. And they go, no, we're just going to kill you off and we're going to make your little brother Jimmy Olsen. And I'm like, you're going to make Sean's my older brother, though. And they're like, no. He says, it's like, you're going to bring, he's like, he was so confused by that. Wait, you're going to bring my brother back? Isn't he? Goes, you know what he said?
Okay, they have somehow not cleaned that up. This universe does not know how the CSI works, apparently. What a thing to say.
You didn't see him at the funeral?
He was standing from a far distance.
Just like
he was socially distancing in 2009.
For a second, I thought that was bizarre. Like for a second when I was watching, I'm like, is he?
Why would that be
Bizarro?
Bizarro when he's been shattered in a million pieces? Is dead.
Yeah.
I don't think they would make any
Bizarro's
sense.
I don't know why. I was like, maybe this is bizarre, but like he's reincarnated.
He's
I don't
wearing
know.
he's wearing a dark suit for the funeral to pay respects to Jimmy.
I mean, originally when I saw this in 2008 or 9, it was like May of 2009. I'm like, that has to be like Bizarro, or Clark's probably still laying in the rubble dead with Doomsday, and like he's Bizarro, and he's gonna walk by, and that's why he's out of the shadows. He's gonna start going like, and I'm like, that's bizarre, and it wasn't. And I was so fucking disappointed. I'm like, because what he says, I'm like, there's no way that Clark would say this shit. Not gonna lie, that would probably been better writing. Just gonna say, that would have been better.
I disagree because it wouldn't make any logical sense to bring back Bizarro when they killed him off.
Well, they
He
bring
shattered
back
and exploded a million people.
Brainiac back.
Explain to me how you bring Bizarro back. Like, I would love to see your logic decisions.
Okay, Brainiac said Bizarro was created in the lab. Okay, so Bizarro basically, he was destroyed.
Well, Brainiac is already gone, so just scratch that off the list.
His pieces are put together by Tessa's lab, and then he basically absorbs into human DNA and his alien DNA merge, and then he reforms back into Tom Welling. And
But what would be her purpose to doing that in the first place? That wouldn't
because
make any logical sense.
She was, since Clark couldn't kill Davis, she was going to get Bizarro to kill Davis.
You have a perfectly good facility. It's called the ISIS Foundation, but no. Jimmy, but not Jimmy, but we're going to call him Jimmy just for the sake of synchronicity, I guess.
I can't believe it's not Jimmy, what we're going to call him.
Well, no, they're calling it the Watchtower.
So we're going to call it Jimmy now. I can't believe it's not Jimmy.
No, it's Jim. It's definitely not Jimmy.
No, Jimmy Olsen's black. You didn't know that? We saw him on Supergirl.
Wrong universe.
I know. I was like, which apparently Superman and Lois is not in the same universe as Supergirl because they introduced.
I could have told you that. They literally did a soft reboot of the show. They disconnected to the Arrowverse.
Which it makes sense. I mean, if they could do that, I mean, I don't know.
Well, they only did that because the only reason they wanted to disconnect it was because of the COVID situation, that they couldn't do any of the stuff that they originally were planning on doing is to connect it, but then they completely rewritten the whole script for the first season of the pilot.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait for this whole tizzy to be resolved in 2 episodes or less.
Watching this clip only because there's a scene that happens next that I went on YouTube and I went and rewound this clip from 100 times.
So apparently Clark is going to shut himself off and cut everybody in his life and just embracing this Kryptonian side.
This is the tease right here. This is right here. This is the big villain of next season.
Oh yeah, this is going to be the big reveal of the main villain in the next season.
Daddy of next season, season 9.
It shocked me. It shocked me when I watched that reveal.
I watched this scene on YouTube 100
It was
times.
a lot. Like it had a lot to process. At the time when they did this episode, they didn't reveal who's going to be playing it at the time because they didn't cast him.
Frickin' called it.
Yeah, you did. Zod.
You know who that was though, standing in the person that
it was just a body double. Well, technically it was a body double. They didn't cast him yet.
It was Sam Witwer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was Sam. That might have been Sam Witwer in the shot.
Yeah.
At the end of the reveal. But then they got a different actor later on when they casted him in the role for Zod.
Which they asked Sam Witwer if he wanted to play Zod for season 9, in which Sam Witwer said, "No, I don't," because he said, "This is what he said: the fans will never forgive you because that means you're not taking the show seriously. If you were going to just bring in me and say, oh, he's Zod now, and everything," and he said, "I just did not want to do that to the fans because he says my character is Davis, and I don't want to bring in. You wouldn't bring in Michael Rosenbaum and say, oh, he's playing this Brainiac now." It
would have been a lot of confusion to the fans.
And so he just said no. He goes, "You should hire an actor that's actually British, first off." And
actually, they actually caught and I thought he really fit the role perfectly as Zod.
The guy who they cast, because it was a guy I'd never even heard of. I'm like, I wonder.
Yeah, I never heard of his work before. He was completely unknown, and he still kind of is, but we haven't seen him do much after Smallville.
Yeah, I think the biggest role that guy was famous for at the time was Pushing Daisies.
Which I never
or Dead Like Me. Maybe it was Dead Like Me or something. Dead Like Me. But like,
Okay.
look, Sam Witwer. Can
So-
you imagine if he was on? He would have been like,
I don't know.
"Yes,
It would have been weird.
full sword, need the full sword."
But then again, he was created by his birth.
That's the whole
parents.
reason why they wanted him to play Zod, because they mentioned like, hey, they say you look like him, so imagine we just gave you.
Yeah,
a
he strikes the
goatee.
resemblance of his father. So yeah, that probably would have made sense because he was not created by birth. He was literally made in a lab.
It was awful.
Was it shit? It was terrible.
No, it was terrible.
It was
It was
pretty
terrible.
fucking
It was
awful.
terrible.
I mean, that's what people say. It is one of the worst finales out there. At least if it would have ended with them fighting each other, at least season 8, 9 is gonna pick up with him fighting Doomsday. And instead, it's like he fights Doomsday for 10 seconds, and then Jimmy Olsen gets killed. Jimmy gets
Not
killed.
the real Jimmy Olsen. Apparently his
Don't
fucking
worry. He's not Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, but did you notice that he's not the real Jimmy Olsen? Apparently his first name is Henry James Olsen.
This is what I felt like. This is what the finale felt like to me.
This was the middle finger to the fans, definitely, especially with Jimmy's character, how they did him dirty in the show.
Aaron,
they fucking completely retconned it.
Aaron called it right here. This sums it up right here. It was.
Yep, pretty much.
I completely agree.
If they would have given me the finale, I would have said
they fucked up with the climactic fight with the showdown between Clark and Doomsday. That lasted for 10 seconds. You fucking hyped the fans up only to give us a 10-second fight and not a big all-out fight. Like that was like the fight of everything.
They really did speedrun the whole Doomsday fight scene.
Like that was like, what the hell? I did not understood that. That was completely cheap.
Doomsday shows up, knocks a woman, a stunt double, into the glass. Then all of a sudden he super speeds over, throws a girl in the trash, and then Doomsday punches him a couple times in the gut, then throws him a couple of times across the place. Then Clark pushes him into a mine or into like a oil rig or whatever, and then it blows up, and then Jimmy Olsen dies in the next scene. Yeah, I will say, yes, we just talked about that a few minutes ago. Season 9 finale has one of the best damn fight scenes in the finale. I mean, I won't say. Oh,
yeah.
It is one of the best.
Well, we should go to scores now because I am in no mood. So Collins, 1 to 10.
6 out of 10. I mean, no. 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10.
All right, Matt, you
3. Oh, yeah. It's a 3.
I am going full on 0. I hated this thing.
Damn.
With every fiber
0. That you hated that bad on a passion. I knew it was going to piss you off.
A few seconds it gave us a fighting Doomsday. I liked
the wet fart of a fight. Then you got Jimmy Olsen, not Jimmy Olsen.
Henry Olsen.
Henry Olsen no-selling a pipe through the gut only to then shove Davis lightly onto a pitchfork. And then ultimately Jimmy Olsen being Henry's little brother. And then Clark entering his emo phase where he's going to listen to the entire discographies of Tool and Evanescence respectively. So yeah.
Dude, that would have been so funny if they actually cued that music.
Clark's just a goth at the end. Song. Clark's just a goth at the end.
Aaron, bless your soul. You are way more generous than me. But you know what? Like 2025 is just going to be a new year of seriousness for me and this channel. So I'm not going to sugarcoat anything anymore. This episode is terrible. It's easily the worst season finale of this entire show that we have reacted to so far. Damn. And that's all I have to say about that.
Well, I mean, I expected you to hate it, but I did not expect you to give it a 0. Like, you
the really reason why I gave it 4 is because, one, I thought, look, I like the opening where he's like, they're like hyping, like, oh, today's the day you die in the Legion, seeing the Legion again. I liked the big reveal at the end of Zod, tease for season 9. I also liked the fact that, Lois just gets into a fights Tess, and then she gets sucked into like the Legionary. And then I also really liked that, the few minutes we saw of the fight scene between, Doomsday and Clark. I thought those were great. And you know what? The funny thing is, I hate the fact that it's only like 5. It's like less than 10 minutes. It's like
Yeah,
a 2-minute fight scene. Like
It was
less
like
than
it was a 10-second fight. That fight lasted for 10 seconds of that fight. It was great, but then it could have been more, and it fell so short.
And you know what? You know what though? There was a song there used to be on. I used to watch on YouTube all the time. Linkin Park had a cover "New Divide" of the Smallville season. Not it was a fan made, like someone fan made it, but they of the season 8 finale. And I'm like, it made me appreciate the finale a lot more with the New Divide playing over it because, like, you know what? At least he has a good song playing over it, so it makes the shit of it make it better. Even though, yes, I really hate the fact that they killed Jimmy Olsen, and then you're gonna hate what they do even more later on. Later on, you're gonna hate what they do anymore because then it's just gonna be a middle finger to this. In season 8, you're just like, are the film? Are they fucking stupid?
No. When we get into to the final season, and you're gonna be like, "What? Are you fucking kidding me?" The final episode, the final episode of the reveal.
I truly think it was the showrunners that were leaving this season. The ones that the two, I think that was not Kelly and Brian. I mean, look, I don't know. Maybe it is. We'll find out once Talkville covers this episode. But I think it was the showrunners that were leaving. You know, I think it was those showrunners that decided to kill Jimmy Olsen off. And so I don't think, because I feel like if you see season 10, you'll understand why. So I feel like why would the showrunners kill off Jimmy Olsen unless they're just trying to save face?
I was really on board with now Jimmy finally knows the Clark's secret, and it was great.
Guess what?
I like that part, and then he was starting to now see the bigger picture of what Chloe's purpose was, and resolving the whole relationship. But then it was just a fucking middle finger. They literally stabbed in the back, literally and figuratively. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Then you retcon his whole fucking backstory. You fucking ruined the Jimmy character.
Jeremy Johns, if you know who that, y'all know who that guy is. Jeremy Johns.
Of course, yes.
Everybody, pretty much.
I mean, there are people that don't. Not everyone follows YouTubers, and so Jeremy Johns said he loved the first 7 seasons of Smallville. He said seasons 1 through 7 are perfect, but he said season 8 is where he tapped out. He said because
I get it.
I don't blame him.
Seasons. He said it was one of the worst seasons, and he said I'm not watching season 9. So when he heard season 10. They were bringing back a lot of elements from season 10. Like they were bringing back, making it feel more like Smallville. And so he watched season 10. He said he enjoyed season 10 vastly over season 8 because he hated season.
But did he even try to watch season 9?
He didn't watch season 9. He said,
"Oh, he skipped over 9."
Yeah, which I don't know. He probably has seen it now, but he says he at the time when he was watching it as a viewer, he never watched season 9 because he said season 8 was so terrible, and he said it was worse. What you know? What I just still.
That's fine. Yeah, that's outside of comic books, but this Smallville is a fucking Elseworld story. It doesn't mean anything.
Also,
what their age range is.
Also, Lex Luthor, to be fair, is older. Is older.
I mean, I don't see what would be that much of an excuse to kill him off just because. Oh wow, he's younger than the other two. Okay. But remember, Smallville is an Elseworld story. They can bring in any iconic characters whenever they want. They brought in fucking Lois Lane so early in the show. What does that tell you? They brought in so many people so early on before he's Superman.
And they're in
there's no true canon because Smallville, like I said a million times, and I'll say it again, it's Elseworld, and they can do whatever they want. They even brought Doomsday so quickly, which I thought was the dumbest decision that the showrunners have ever done.
Which, you know what, there was one thing. There was a person, I think his name is called V Duso or V Wuso, whatever. He has a channel called The Day Something Died, and he has The Day Smallville Died. And a lot of his complaints is like for season 8, 9, and 10, where he says he's already faced Doomsday, and he's not even Superman yet. The idea of Smallville is he has not faced these villains. He's becoming Superman, and he's already Superman. He's already literally... Yeah.
So they're not following the canon of any of those comic books because it's an adaptation and they wanted to change it up. And I completely agree. And I said this before and I'll say it again. Bringing in Doomsday so early on before he's Superman was the biggest mistake that they have ever done in the show.
I think honestly bringing in, like I said, what I liked about bringing in, like when he brought in like Lexazod and all that, because they were like, look, we don't want them we're not, the idea was Smallville should be like he said, you're setting up these villains for him to fight later on in this future.
Yeah.
You're not trying to
not trying to end that fucking thing. They just fucking ended the Doomsday arc very quickly.
I mean, he could always be dug up and fight him later.
That's true. That's true. But even though that we'll never going to see the later after the show Smallville, But yeah, they could still bring him back because they buried him in the ground because they know that they can't kill Doomsday. He's unkillable. And every time they try to kill him, he comes back stronger and more powerful. That's been more of the lore of the comics.
Imagine if they throw him into the sun, he comes back and he's just like the guy, is like Nuclear Man from Superman.
Oh
4.
yeah, Nuclear Man. From the quest for fucking peace. And also, yeah, they brought Zod early on before he's Superman. They brought in a lot of characters very soon.
The showrunners in season 6, or the showrunners in season, they knew, like Alan Miles knew how, like, look, we don't want to introduce an actor as Zod because we feel like, okay, we want to pay off Zod, but we want Clark to know he's out there, he's a threat, but we don't want to show up and fight Zod which I will say how he's done in season 9 is really good. I don't see like how he's done in season 9. I'm glad they did the way they did. And also they do something similar what they did with Lex and Clark. I'm not gonna say what it is, but
I know exactly what you're talking about.
They do something similar, but I will say I think it works though, because you don't really have that with Lex, because Lex
but also without spoiling anything, we know that Zod is going to be the main villain, and they made him a season regular. They made him a regular in the season.
He is in a lot of these episodes.
He's going to have a bigger role. He's more present in the show. They fleshed his character out great. I love that we got more storyline with Zod and more character depth. And when Clark and Zod cross paths, it's gold. I love when they cross paths.
Yeah, there's something like there, especially when you get to the mid-season finale, you're like, oh, what? You know, like you don't realize something that's in your face the whole time, and then, but yeah, you would really like the show. You would really, really like.
And also, Lois is missing. She put on that Legion ring. She could be anywhere, somewhere in time. We don't know where the hell she is.
And also in season 9, they introduced more Superman villains. A famous Superman villain, a famous one, appears in this first couple of. I might say who it is. But a famous Superman villain that was meant to be in Zack Snyder's sequel to Man of Steel, but they scrapped it.
Oh yeah.
They scrapped that character.
Yeah, they totally scrapped that character in Batman v Superman
in favor of Doomsday. You know,
which I thought it would have been a better approach than Doomsday.
Which I mean, well, David S. Goyer said he originally had that character in his head. He said the character Doomsday was not in his original script. He said that was when Chris Terrio and Ben Affleck took over.
That was definitely a studio. That was a studio decision. It was not the right. It was not Chris Terrio's decision. They the reason why that they had to do rewrites because they want to bring in Doomsday, someone they want to do the death of Superman a little bit sooner, especially in the second film for Superman.
You know what's sad? You could have done it right too. You know what's sad? I think Christopher Nolan could have done it right.
It was more all of a setup for Justice League and why they brought in Wonder Woman so early in Batman v Superman, because it was more about setting up the Justice League. And they wanted to do a shared cinematic universe. I love at the end when Superman kills Doomsday, when he gets stabbed in the chest. I know, I get that. I mean, yeah, look, I will say that I forgave the death of Superman after watching Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Snyder cut. But I will still acknowledge that bringing in Doomsday and killing him off so quickly when we didn't really have enough time with Superman, and he didn't have enough time to earn the world's trust and everyone looking up to him, when mostly early on they've been completely dividing
to be fair,
and completely crapping on Superman nonstop.
People accept Batman in The Dark Knight retiring because he was only Batman for about 8 months or 9 months.
No, Batman's been Batman for 20 years.
No, I'm saying in Batman, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight movie. He was only Batman for
the Nolan one.
Oh, the Nolan one?
And then he says, I'm going to take 8 years off after that. After Rachel dies, I'm taking 8 years off.
Which I thought was stupid.
I'm saying that, but people accepted that. They're like, well, you know what?
Not everybody liked The Dark Knight Rises. They didn't like how that turned out and how they did a time jump when he was not Batman, when he was retired.
I mean, hey, look, you know what? It was better
one thing is for certain. One thing is for certain. This episode was terrible. I'd rather watch and crack knuckles. Here goes. I'd rather watch the Phelan episodes over this one again.
Oh,
that's how serious I am.
Oh my God!
Imagine if Phelan would come back at the end.
Let's not go quite that far. But
I'm back, Clark. I'm Doomsday now.
I'm Doomsday now.
These episodes were terrible, but we love you guys and thank you all so much for watching. If you watched live or if you're going to watch the edited version, we really do appreciate it.
Hope you guys watching us rant, especially with Ryan, which was the best part, which I knew that was going to happen.
And
I knew it was going to piss him.
Henry and Aaron. If you can't send Ryan a bunch of Phelan memes, from Ryan loves Phelan.
Well, Collins, where can the people find you?
Well, they can't find me at the season 8 in season 8. That's for damn
Can
sure.
they find you in the bathroom?
They can find me. I'd rather be in the bathroom taking a shit than watching this. You know, look, Bass Pro Shop. I'd rather be at Bass Pro Shop, which it's a deep cut joke on this channel. Like it's a deep cut joke on Jacob Martin's channel. Also, I hated this episode. I thought it was one of the worst episodes out there. Honestly, if I had to rank finales right now, this is the worst out of the. I'd rather watch the season 2 finale, the season 3 finale, the season 4 finale, season 4, 5, and 6 and 7 are great finales. Season 1,
Yeah.
I mean, season 1 and 2 are a mixed bag for me on finales, but like season,
Dude, any finale other than season 8 was better.
Season 9 and season 9 finale is fantastic, but season 10, I have mixed feelings on that. That's a series finale. I'm mixed feelings on that, but we'll get to that bridge when we cross it. But like, I just hated this. I thought, it was, and it had a good director too, James Marshall, which I'm like, oh, he's directing it because he directed season 6 finale, the season 5 finale, the season 4 finale. So you're like, oh wow, like he's directed some of the best finales. I'm like, this is going to be a good finale, and then nope. So this was imagine watching this in 2008, Ryan, and then being disappointed. You have to wait all the way into October to see what happens.
There would have been a lot of shattered CRT TVs. But Matt Wyatt, where can the people find you?
You can find me on YouTube, at MattWyatt92. I still got a few videos that I need to record for top 10 best movies of the year and most anticipated films and worst films that I've seen from 2024. I still got to record that and start editing in post later. So yeah, you can find me on there.
All right, and as far as this channel goes, the final video for the 99 Project, the big best of, worst of, over, under, should be up by now, as well as my video on Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein on the road to Wolfman. And I've got big things planned for the channel this year. I'm going to have a bit of an announcement video talking about it, so stay tuned for that. But for Jacob Collins, for Matt Wyatt, my name is Ryan Cam. For Truth, for Justice, for the American Way, always hold on to Smallville. We will see you all in the next one.